First Coast News begins with breaking news.
And we're following two breaking news stories tonight. An armed and dangerous man is on the loose after a hit-and-run crash over on the south side.
But first, two bodies have been found inside of a doctor's office on St. Simon's Island. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Heather Crawford.
And I'm Anthony Austin. This all happening at the Redfern Village, where there are several other shops and businesses. First Coast News reporter Jason Rantala is live on the scene with the latest. Jason.
Guys, members of the Glynn County Police Department, the crime scene unit has been here for hours. Just about 15, maybe 20 minutes ago, they finally got that search warrant to get inside this building here. They've been going in and out, taking pictures, getting on the scene literally for the first time tonight. Now, according to the Glynn County coroner, there are two bodies inside the building. They belong to a man and a woman. Police have been on the scene. This is the 240 block of Redfern Village. This is near several businesses. This actually apparently shares an adjoining parking lot with an Outback Steakhouse over here. So just lots of shopping, lots of restaurants. Talk to some neighbors. Really, this does not happen around here. This is, of course, is a developing story. We're learning more as far as what exactly happened here. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we learn more. For now, we're live in St. Simon's Island. Jason Rantala, First Coast News.
Jason, thank you. Also breaking tonight, a robbery suspect is on the loose. This is on Jacksonville South Side. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office calling him armed and dangerous. Hani Rodriguez is live on that scene with what witnesses are saying. Hani?
That's right, Heather. Witnesses tell me this happened all over a cell phone, what I've got in my hand. And I want to show you here the scene. You can still see tire marks and branches all over the floor where that suspect crashed his truck after he tried to get away. Now, I want to show you, police searched this area in Jacksonville for several hours, but were unsuccessful. A witness also that we spoke with says he heard the crash and believes the suspect tried to rob another man's cell phone at gunpoint.
A lady was leaving out of her driveway over here, and he almost hit the back of her car, and instead of hitting the back of her car, he swerved, slammed into the tree, and then took off on foot, ran behind the house, and started running behind the other houses, and then the choppers was all out looking for him.
The search has been called off for tonight, but police are asking neighbors to, of course, keep an eye out for this man because he is believed to be armed and dangerous. A suspect, or police also say the suspect was last seen wearing a black shirt and white pants. If you see him, please call police. For now, reporting live in Jacksonville Southside, I'm Hani Rodriguez, First Coast News.
Two people are dead after a motorcycle and a car collided in St. Augustine tonight. This is new video into our newsroom showing the car and the motorcycle overturned. This all happened around 7 on Whispering Woods Lane and State Road 207. Fire rescue officials say 2 people died on the scene and a third person is in the hospital tonight. No word yet on the identity of the victims.
Well, it's a place where thousands of people go to shop every day, the Avenues Mall. And tonight, a massage therapist inside that mall is facing criminal charges. Several people have come forward accusing him of crossing the line, and police say there could be more victims. First Coast News' Hani Rodriguez spoke with a woman who says it happened to her, but she never filed a police report.
He was groping me and being sexual in nature.
That's what Jennifer Seeley says happened to her last October when she got a massage at the Body and Soul Massage at the Avenues Mall in Jacksonville. I showed her a picture of 32-year-old Keating Doan. She claims he was the same man who gave her that massage. She says she never filed a report with police, but she wrote this review on Facebook.
I had a horrible experience at the Body and Soul in the Avenues Mall on Phillips Highway. It was extremely unprofessional and inappropriate. He would have his genitals up on the table, and it kind of felt like he was getting a little aroused.
Since February, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says 3 other people have come forward and filed police reports. The massage shop employee was arrested and charged with sexual battery. Seeley tells me she didn't file a report because she was scared.
Do I want to get into a confrontation with this man, you know, or should I just try to stay quiet? You know, just let him finish and then I can leave, you know, and hope he doesn't do something else.
She says the massage parlor has offered several free massages after her bad review on Facebook, but she's turned them down. She says she never wants to return there again and is encouraging other victims to come forward.
If you have the courage to come forward, you should.
In Jacksonville, I'm Honey Rodriguez, First Coast News.
Now, we reached out today to Body and Soul at the Avenues Mall. They declined to comment. Police say, again, that there could be more victims, and they're asking for any potential victims to come forward and to call the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
New tonight, we're hearing from the young boys who were walking with 12-year-old Hunter Cope when he was hit and killed. Dozens came together tonight for a vigil. The sixth grader was killed in Mayport on A1A and Wonderwood Drive this morning while walking to school. Hunter's friends say he was running when they heard the horn. They tried to warn him, but it was just too late.
He was funny, nice, and he was like trying to best friends back.
Jessica, I'm always this.
People who live in the area say speeding is a big problem at that intersection. A GoFundMe has been set up by a family member working to raise money for funeral costs. We posted a link on our website if you would like to help out at firstcoastnews.com.
The death of Deputy Eric Oliver, a veteran officer and the father of a 6-year-old, united a community in mourning. But the cause of his death is a source of deep divide. Some are concerned increased enforcement by Border Patrol agents in Nassau County puts deputies and residents in unnecessary danger. Ann Schindler is on your side.
Certainly our agency is still hurting.
The death of Deputy Eric Oliver was a gut-wrenching loss for his fellow Nassau County deputies and for Sheriff Bill Leeper.
We're moving forward the best we can.
It also put a spotlight on a practice few know about.
If it wouldn't be for them, none of this would happen that day. That officer that went down probably would have been alive at this time.
This Fernandina Beach businesswoman believes that Deputy Oliver was unwittingly caught in a pattern of enforcement by County Border Patrol agents.
They stop at Winn-Dixie, they stop at the gas stations, and they're hunting people.
Deputy Oliver died while chasing a suspect into traffic. But it wasn't his suspect. He'd been asked to act as backup for a U.S. Border Patrol agent stopping a truck full of Hispanic-looking men.
People are afraid. They don't want to walk out on the streets anymore.
The businesswoman says there is a climate of fear in Nassau County. A naturalized U.S. citizen, she declined to speak on camera, saying she didn't want to invite retaliation. She and others in the community say Border Patrol agents routinely stop Hispanic-looking people.
It's to the point where if you're Latino, you are going to be stopped for walking while Latino or biking while Hispanic.
Susan Pye is a former federal prosecutor and an immigration attorney. Over the past 4 years, she's been involved in more than 20 cases of what she calls questionable stops by Border Patrol agents in Nassau County. The same allegations surfaced in 2 affidavits. Witnesses say a Border Patrol agent was, quote, hunting Mexicans. Federal law prohibits profiling. An agency spokesman says, quote, Customs and Border Protection strictly prohibits profiling on the basis of race or religion. Sheriff Leeper says his agency shares that view.
Our policy is we don't profile.
But Leeper acknowledges that his deputies will notify Border Patrol with suspicions based on little more than appearance.
There's some time to time we've come across some individual, someone that really looks like they should not have been in our country to begin with, and then we'll call Border Patrol to come take a look at it.
Border Patrol can't detain someone based on appearance alone, but in the case of the bicycle stops, the agent said he wasn't formally detaining them, he was just engaging them in, quote, casual conversation. This picture, taken by witnesses, shows the officer straddling the front wheel of one man's bicycle.
Would you characterize that as a posture of somebody that was just having a casual conversation with someone?
I mean, absolutely not. It defies logic to say that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're actually getting in front of somebody and impeding their progress, that becomes problematic there as to why they're doing it.
First Coast News crime analyst Mark Bachman, who worked drug interdiction cases as a DEA agent, says body language matters.
And most people in that dialogue, or at least on the receiving end of that, don't feel they have the right to go anyway, but they're going to sit there and answer those questions.
That phrase, casual conversation, also surfaced in the November incident. The Border Patrol document says an agent approached a vehicle at the Nassau County Gate gas station. One of several occupants of the vehicle, Francisco Portillo Fuentes, fled. 2 Nassau officers gave chase, and Deputy Oliver was hit by an SUV and killed.
Why would he run if he hasn't committed a crime?
Sheriff Leeper says his deputies assist Border Patrol when asked.
Would you say you're seeing a little more of that now than in past years, in your experience?
I would say we see a little bit more nowadays. It's just hard to say.
Records obtained by First Coast News show that Federal Border Patrol called on Nassau County deputies for backup 4 times in the past year. That may not seem like much, but Leeper says there are also instances where they help and no report is written.
We do things all day long without making reports because there's no reason to.
That's not their mission.
Pye worries that getting deputies involved criminalizes what is essentially an administrative matter. Being in the U.S. without documents is a civil offense, not a criminal one.
They pose no threat to you, they pose no threat to us, they pose no threat to the community.
That was not the case with Portillo Fuentes, who had entered the U.S. twice previously and faced criminal charges.
But the deputy doesn't know that at that time, so they naturally do what they're trained to do, is enforce the law and pursue that.
That, Pye says, is what makes Deputy Oliver's death especially tragic.
He should never have undertaken that level of risk to pursue this kind of a person. He should not have lost his life because he should never have risked his life.
Ann Schindler, First Coast News.
Discovering a scratch or a dent on your car in a parking lot can probably make you angry, but how would you react if you saw another car on top of yours like this? Well, this happened right here in Florida, so you have to stick around to find out exactly how that happened and how the owner of that classic car is reacting. That story in just 3 minutes.
Coming out of Walmart and seeing that, oh my goodness. Plus, there is a list of controversial issues being decided at the state capitol. We have a crew tonight in Tallahassee with a look at what's happening tomorrow that could impact where you can carry a gun.
And from Muskogee to Green Bay, it's not a snowstorm we're talking about, but a spring-like storm. It's along a front that's headed our way. We'll see what that means for the First Coast in just a few moments.
Developing tonight, CSX has named Hunter Harrison its new CEO. Harrison is the former head of Canadian Pacific Railway. Meanwhile, those layoffs that we mentioned last week are now underway. The Jacksonville-based company recently revealed that it is laying off about 1,000 management positions, but had not revealed which workers were involved until that process started today. Well, happening tomorrow, Florida lawmakers officially begin their 2017 session.
This year is expected to include everything from gun control to tax cuts and also increased spending for education and health care. Our Stephen Dial traveled to Tallahassee and has a look ahead.
Tomorrow, a lot of lawmakers will be walking up these steps to the Florida State Capitol as the 2017 legislative session begins. There are a lot of issues to be discussed and voted upon. We spoke with the TU's Tia Mitchell about what's going on inside the Capitol. This is like the first day of school for a lot of lawmakers tomorrow.
It really is. There are even like the cool kids, which are the legislators, and then you got the lobbyists on one side of the room, you got your media. So it is kind of like high school and all these different groups of people.
What are some key issues that a lot of people or residents at home would care about?
So many. There's education issues. For example, there's a proposal to have school districts share property tax revenue with charter schools. There are reforms for our state colleges and state universities. Healthcare is always on the agenda where it comes to Medicaid and how to control costs. And at the federal level, the discussion about the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, that's going to eventually trickle down to the state level.
There are a couple of bills with guns trying to make Florida open carry and then guns on college campuses.
Yes, and there are so many gun bills, even the Stand Your Ground bill, which we kind of put in the gun bill pot. In the Senate, it's the Stand Your Ground bill that's moving. It's already ready for a vote on the Senate floor. You know, those are controversial. People don't really like those bills. University of North Florida has done polling. And so it's interesting because these bills get a lot of traction, but it's not necessarily that at home they're very popular.
Again, Governor Rick Scott's State of the State address will be at 11 a.m. We have you covered both on air and online at firstcoastnews.com. In Tallahassee, Stephen Dial, First Coast News.
Well, you may be wondering how in the world something like this happened. This is a parking disaster that ended with a car parked on top of another. This all happened outside a Walmart in Inglewood, Florida. That's about 4 hours southwest of Jacksonville. Officers say an elderly woman in a blue Ford Fusion accidentally hit the gas instead of the brakes. Well, she landed on this 1959 Chevy Corvette. Witnesses say they expected the owner to lose it, but they say he kept his composure despite owning the car for nearly 50 years.
Oh my gosh.
Back here at home, a thief steals a package right off of someone's porch just minutes after the mailman dropped it off. This happened on Bridge Creek Drive in the Argyle Forest area. A viewer sent us this surveillance video from her home. If you have any information about this man, if you know who he is, you're asked to contact police tonight.
My heart dropped in my stomach. I was just, you know, it was just crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
So this video right here tells it all. A massive tree, look at that. It crashed right on top of a Callahan home. Neighbors say the company is at fault. Tara Trucks recorded this. She says the workers never apologized. They just left the scene. First Coast News called Jam Up Tree Service. Jose Martinez says he accepts full responsibility. He promises to make things right, but he did not say when. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office calls this a civil matter, not a criminal matter, but that family calling On Your Side's Ken Amera, who today went out there and trying to get action for
Right,
them.
not pleasant having a tree on top of your house.
Absolutely. Good thing no one was hurt. That is for sure.
Not because the storm's here, but I suspect tomorrow morning, once it's light, from Oklahoma all the way to Minnesota into Canada, we're going to see widespread wind damage because of violent storms ongoing. Pretty incredible in that it is still, of course, winter, and this is a very spring-like storm system. Let's take a look with what we have. There it is. There they are, and there they continue to plow eastward through the night tonight. Even going to make it into places like Arkansas and then eventually Illinois. And again, last week we talked about, wow, amazing that we've seen tornadoes on the ground during winter where there normally is snow as far to the north as Chicago. During the afternoon and the evening, we have seen tornadoes on the ground as far to the north as northwest of Minneapolis, although at this point, it looks like some of the towns that have been hardest hit have been over portions of Iowa. That's the front that's headed our way, but as you can imagine, if that energy is already that far north, that's good news for us in that I don't see the threat of damaging storms for us once it makes it here, it being the front, and I don't think the front's going to make it here until Wednesday. Now, for those of you out around Waycross and Valdosta, the weakening showers and thunderstorms, and this particular computer model indicates that by early Wednesday morning, overnight Tuesday night, we'll just have showers left. But nonetheless, for those of you around Valdosta and Waycross, it could be that those approaching weakening storms will be overnight tomorrow night. So think Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. That'll be the earliest for what we call the First Coast. So as far as Tuesday, relax, especially out around the beaches. It'll be the warmest, sunniest day you've seen there for several days. On the sand, despite the breeze off the ocean, you'll still make it to about 74 degrees. Greatest chance of a shower at the beach, it's going to be Wednesday. And surfers going to clean up Wednesday as the winds become westerly. Rip current risk will stay high. For the Jacksonville metropolitan area, just about 80 degrees after a morning low of 53 to 60. A little bit of fog, but more of a southerly wind and sunnier skies, and that's why temperatures going up to 80. Again, you folks off to the northwest around Waycross, it could be you have a thunderstorm on Tuesday night, but daytime Wednesday or Tuesday will be quiet for you as well. Brunswick a little farther off to the east, but north of Jacksonville, so you'll have your thunderstorms earlier on Wednesday, but weakening compared to what is occurring now and will occur off to the west and northwest. Swanee River Valley, maybe late Tuesday, probably early Wednesday, and by the time we get way down south, down around Putnam County, southern St. Johns and Flagler County, questionable as to whether you get a shower at all. On Thursday, we cool down, but not in a big way, clear out, and then we're going to continue to just call it unsettled as we head toward the shortest weekend of the year. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
From the Farrah and Farrah Sports Desk, it's First Coast Sports.
Hello, everybody. Former Jaguars defensive lineman Jared Odrick filed a grievance against the team today. According to reports, the Jaguars appear to be attempting to hold onto some of the guaranteed money they still owe Odrick rather than paying it to him, and Odrick is not a fan of that maneuver. Reports say the NFLPA might file a grievance against the Big Cats pertaining to a policy that required all injured players to do their rehab at the team facility 4 days a week during the offseason. It is not clear if Odrick, who was on injured reserve at the end of the season, did not comply with his policy, nor if that non-compliance played a role in his release. The Jags cut another high-priced free agent signing. Cornerback Devon House will be released just 2 years after signing a 4-year, $24.5 million contract that had $10 million guaranteed. It's been no secret the legendary Corky Rogers has been plagued with different health issues for a while, and today he announced he's stepping down immediately.
I'm trying my best to get back to being what I'm used to being. I'm getting closer. It's just a while, and you got to deal with things differently a little bit. But I think I'm at my best when I am here. And you can only sit in that chair so long at the house. I've seen every Olympic event, every golf match, everything for the last 2 months. So I'm ready to get football going.
This was Corky Rogers discussing with us his decision to return for his 45th year of coaching after a health scare while vacationing in North Carolina last summer. The legendary coach, who has won 10 state championships at bowls over 2 decades, has been plagued with health problems in recent years, including a heart bypass surgery in 2012. In 2016, Coach faced several challenges related to a long-standing hepatitis C condition. His health issues have required him to undergo regular fluid draining procedures from his stomach at Mayo Clinic since last summer. Despite feeling fatigued throughout the 2016 season, Rogers pushed himself to coach and lead the Bulldogs to a 12-1 record and a 16th appearance in the state championship, where Bowls lost to Cocoa. In December, Rogers said he would not be able to continue coaching if his health did not improve, but wanted to wait a few months before making a final decision. Well, the Hall of Fame coach, with a record of 465, 84-1, has decided to step down. Rogers says he still has the desire to coach, but it's not fair to the players because the energy is not there for him to do it the way it needs to be done. He's holding a press conference tomorrow morning at 11 and will be there. Tim Tebow will make his baseball debut Wednesday with the New York Mets against the Boston Red Sox in Port St.